it do? Talking to you about the things that people say and do. I am your MC, Master of Ceremony, Bama Jamma, coming at you today with a new show, the For Shows It Show. Coming at you today with commentary about the latest events and any and everything that's going on in the world today. A little celebrity, like grits and gravy, your favorite baby, from Florida to Carolina. I know I kind of remind of a player so clean from all the way back, blessing these fiends with no strings attached. From the rubber I start to bubble, to my wife, that's the queen, I love her. Like a kid with snacks and all sorts of treats. Got cavities from many, no need to cheat. Let's get started and talk this shit. Catchphrase coming right now.
Worth £10,000 and one is worth 100. But before I tell you the difference, I want to know if you guys know. So let's call this one bag 1 and this one bag 2. So this is the clasp on bag 1, this is the engraving on bag 1, this is the logo on bag 1, and this is the code on bag 1. This is the clasp on bag 2, this is the engraving on bag 2, this is the logo on bag 2, and this is the code on bag 2.
Companies to make their products, they are literally finessing y'all for a name, but y'all do it because y'all followers. First off, we got Louis. It only cost around $55 to make this belt. Next, we got ones, the materials cost $30 and it's like $10 in labor. Next, we got Gucci. They only need $50 to get the materials for this belt. Also, if you want DoorDash or trying to make bread through your phone, check out the bio. Last, we got Air Maxes. The materials only cost $35 and the labor is only $10 to make this. Do y'all?
Yep. Boy, I tell you, they just breaking the thing down for you. They giving it to you raw. They telling you everything that you need to know about this so-called fashion industry. Now, could you tell the difference between them two bags? Hell to the no. One a couple of $100 and the other one $5,000. Man, y'all done lost y'all damn mind. And I tell you, I buy a designer bag here or there. You know, I done bought a bunch of them for the wife. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't never paid no $5,000 for one. 4, 3, 2, 1,000 grand either. Man, look at him. When they get more than a couple of $100, look at here. That's a little too damn much. And then the guy telling you about how much it costs to make the product. Man, $50 to make that doggone $2,000 Gucci belt. Just a damn shame. And then those shoes. I'm going to give you the breakdown on them shoes. Y'all might not want to hear it, but I'm finna go and get it to you right. Them shoes, them counterfeit fakes, whatever, them fake J's or whatever they call them or whatever. Them shoes made in the same factories as the doggone original. The real one that they send to Nike. Only difference is the one that they send to Nike go through an extensive quality check. The ones that you get in a grocery bag that come from China don't. Man, look here. Do the simple math. I'd rather have on some $50 fake shoes and $500 in my pocket, or some $500 real shoes and 50 cents in my pocket. Let me get a roll time. Let's get one more here.
Bags, LV shirts, and Gucci belts, you've got it all wrong. Today, I'll talk about how luxury brands are actually for broke people and why it's a big problem. So by 2023, the global luxury goods market was worth about $370 billion and is expected to reach $629 billion by 2030. But with the economy in such a downturn, who's buying all this expensive crap? This $2,000 trash bag, this $14,000 pair of jeans, or this $3,000 bag. A 2021 study found that nearly 75% of spending on luxury goods came from the middle and lower class. 40% of which from people making 50K a year or less, and 34% from people making anywhere from 50 to 125K a year. Which sounds pretty strange. Why are everyday regular people dropping this much money when you get something that looks exactly the same for $20? Thorsten Veblen once said, the accumulation of wealth is not what gives the wealthy their status, it's the evidence of wealth. It's pretty natural for people to want to be seen as successful. We all want to look like we have our lives together and have value even if none of us know what the heck we're doing. Animals in the wild do it. Fireflies flash their tails to find a mate, penguins scavenge for pebbles to show their value, and people buy fancy designer brands. The more expensive it seems, the more status you feel. But the reason isn't just because lower and middle class people want to feel validated, it's also because these luxury brands are specifically targeting them. In 2023, this guy, I'm not gonna butcher his name, the CFO of LVMH, the company that owns LV, Dior, Fendi, and a ton of other luxury brands, said, "We don't sell products to rich people. It is to people who have money and want to indulge themselves." The advantage of this cohort is much, much bigger than the super wealthy. Basically admitting that luxury brands intentionally target everyday people because it's way more profitable for them to produce millions of bags that cost $5,000 than it is to produce a dozen $100,000 bags for a few billion.
Yeah, kiss me before you get me. Lord have mercy, Jesus. Well, they say $370 billion is what the luxury industry is worth at the time when they were giving that story. Now it's right around $500 billion. Woo, Lord have mercy, Jesus. Boy, I thought y'all was broke. Then they say 75% of the product that they sell is to the middle class. Then they say the folks that make $50,000 or less, they're the ones buying 40% of it. Lord have mercy, Jesus. Jokers ain't got money to buy a doggone loaf of bread, but got money to buy a doggone $5,000 bill. You misappropriating your funds. Then the guy that's the CFO of LVMH, that's Louis Vuitton, some kind of liquor company. Anyway, I'm going to tell you just how he said. We don't sell products to rich people. We sell to the poor. Look at wrong time. Boy, look here. Somebody tell you something like that, you need to be running for the hill. Somebody gonna tell you straight up, I ain't selling nothing to somebody that got the money to pay for it. I want them poor folk to buy it. What kind of marketing strategy is that? These jokers target everyday people to get to use and buy their products. Try to put y'all in a box and make y'all think that you got to have it in order to be accepted by the people that you don't even like. Lord have mercy, Jesus. And they say when you have China, you got the world. But evidently, they ain't got the world no more because a whole bunch of them luxury brands stole leave and getting the hell up out of China. But anyway, the government is helping them get up out of China. They doing product shaming. In other words, shaming you into not buying them expensive Gucci belts. Anyway.
Judge a book by its cover, so appearances on the surface usually aren't an accurate depiction of somebody's wealth, and let me give you an example with cars. There's always a big misconception that what you drive is reflective of how much your net worth is or how much money you might be making. Pretend you have $600 a month to spend on transportation. Well, you are a reasonable and modest person, let's say. You go out and finance a used 2021 Toyota Corolla hatchback that has a price of $25,000. Your car payment is about $424 a month, and after everything is included in terms of gas, insurance, etc., you're probably close to a $600 a month car payment for that used car. Your goal is to pay it off in 5 years, and then you just own the car outright, and therefore you don't have to make any more payments. But then you have a friend, let's just call him Eric, and you're both at the work water cooler one day comparing finances, as many good coworkers do, and you find out that he makes the same exact yearly salary that you do. Eric shares with you that, man, his car payment is killing him, and he confides in you that it's actually $459 $1,000 a month for his car. You look at him strangely because, well, something doesn't really add up. You're paying close to what he pays and you're driving a Corolla, but Eric over there is whipping around in a 2025 BMW i4. Not to mention, this really confuses you because you guys make the same amount of money. So you figure he must be lying. A 2025 BMW i4 retails for at least $53,000 when you Google it, and there's no way he has a car payment that's remotely close to yours. Now that's where you would be wrong because Eric is indeed telling you the truth. What he's not telling you though is that he's leasing the car and he got a lease special. His lease only lasts 3 years, so he has to give up the car after that. And not only that, he had to put up $53.89 due at signing that he didn't tell you about when he was complaining about his car payment. His insurance and gas are both higher as well, and that's not something he shares with you either. Now on the surface, both of you guys are spending roughly the same amount of money on a monthly payment, but if we dig beneath the surface a little bit, we can clearly see that Eric might be living beyond his means, all for appearances.
Yeah. That disco for a minute there. But anyway, what this guy here, he broke it down for you. He gave y'all some good tidbits, a little information for y'all to go by. What he say, judging the book by its cover? A lot of us get in trouble doing just that. A lot of y'all have used that philosophy when it came to hooking up with your spouse, judging a book by the cover, and wind up you got a comic book inside of a novel. But anyway, anyhow. And I say, what? And then another thing, what you driving don't dictate how much you work. It don't dictate who you are. I know you're not that shallow. What that guy said about Eric? Eric, Big E, flogging in that BMW, that leased BMW. But you know what though? The guy that was looking at him and thinking he was flogging, he pocket watching. Pocket watching will get you in a heaps of damn trouble every time. You know what they say about keeping up with the Joneses? He trying to keep up with the Joneses. You can't do that, my boy. Oh, by the way, that was a very good movie that came out in 2009 with Demi Moore and David Duchovny. What they call it? The Joneses. Boy, that was a good movie right there. I suggest all of y'all watch that movie. That sheds a whole lot of light on that keeping up with the Joneses aspect. I ain't gonna even give you the plot. You got to go watch it for yourself. But anyway, let me get a roll time, and we're gonna hear one more.
First, before 2008, luxury brands had only relied on buzz around wealthy circles and the occasional fashion magazine feature. But in 2008, LV made headlines as the first luxury brands to advertise on TV to everyday people. It created a new tier of status and validation for everyday people to aspire to. And fast forward to today, luxury brands have integrated themselves as part of everyday pop culture. The problem is, during a time when the American dream seems increasingly out of reach, luxury brands have become the most accessible symbol of status and wealth. Buying a house seems impossible, but a $3,000 shirt? Yeah, I can make that work. In fact, research found that Gen Z buy luxury goods about 3 to 5 years earlier than millennials, at 15 versus at 20. And it's expected that these younger generations will make up 80% of luxury spending by 2030. Next, just showing the aura of exclusivity on TV and the internet is one thing, but actually experiencing it is another. Luxury brands needed everyday people to bridge these two realities. That's why when you walk into one of these stores, everything seemed luxurious, with complimentary champagne in art collection and overly smug workers who have a holier-than-thou mentality. All this is designed to make you feel like you've made it in life, further validating your status. Third, luxury brands know they need to perform a very delicate balancing act, appeal to the masses while still retaining some aura of exclusivity. But there's a problem. It's impossible to predict exactly how much demand there will be for a design that they make. Sometimes they'll produce too many shoes, bags, or whatever, and there won't be enough customers to sell them at the retail price. Normally, if a business has excess inventory, they'll put it on sale, do a BOGO deal, or whatever to incentivize people to buy the rest of the inventory. The problem is, if luxury brands like Rolex or LV did that, then they're gonna seem less exclusive. So what do they do instead? In July of 2018, Burberry admitted to destroying $36.8 million worth of its own.
You heard him. You sure did. Boy, look at him. Before 2008, they did not do a whole lot of advertising on TV. The only place I used to see them from time to time, if they did advertise something on TV, it was like 5-10 seconds, in and out. Then, GQ magazine, Cosmopolitan magazine, that's why you saw that. You had to buy them books to see their advertising. That's the only place I knew where you could find it at. And then, I tell you this right here, y'all Gen Zers, good God Almighty, I ain't know y'all was spending it like that. How much y'all be buying luxury brands 5 years earlier than the previous generation? 15 years old. What 15-year-old you know got doggone $3,000 to go out here and plunk down on a Chanel bag? Damn, I'm gonna be doing something wrong. Yeah, that damn allowance my mama was giving me back in the day wasn't nothing compared to what they get. Lord have mercy. Then when you go in these stores, they got complimentary champagne and caviar and all kind of mess like that. What the hell you got to get me drunk for to buy some damn clothes? You know they up to no good. They giving you a martini as soon as you step through the door. Let's get this fool drunk so we can get all this EBT money. Let's get a roll time. And then, did you hear the last part where they say exclusivity is what they try to get at all costs? And Burberry done admitted July 2018 that they destroyed damn near $37 million of excess inventory just to keep it exclusive. Shaking my damn head. Don't you know how many homeless folk could have been chilling and walking around in style? Well, sleeping on the bench in style. Anyway, let's have one more.
People that have money won't actually show it off on social media. One problem I noticed that we as humans have is that we fall prey to easily looking to social media for role models or inspiration on how we should act, what to wear, or what to buy. But in my opinion, true wealth is pretty silent and actually not actually visible at all. So there was one time I went to go and meet my friend's dad for a lunch, and he's worth over 9 figures. And guess what he wore? He wore shorts and a simple polo shirt. Honestly, from the outside, he probably looked like your average Joe dad. He wasn't driving a fancy car. He wasn't wearing a flashy watch, and nobody would certainly know that he was rich. And oftentimes the most wealthiest people that I meet in my own life generally are just the most down-to-earth and humble type of people, and they honestly don't try to be too flashy. Another story I want to tell you guys is that I grew up with a lot of really wealthy kids. Now my family, we were well off, yes, but we weren't super wealthy. And one of the wealthier girls that I knew would always be traveling, and she would share photos of her family trips on social media. But what I noticed about it was that she would make it look very normal, like she would only showcase normal places that everyone had access to. For example, she went to Rome, she might take a picture of the Colosseum or the Trevi Fountain, but she never was really showing you where she was staying or how she even got there. But at some point in my life, I got pretty nosy, so I asked some of her friends who are also my friends, like, how come she never just like showcases where she stays or perhaps how she gets to the destinations that she gets to? Well, it turns out she was flying private everywhere, staying at really nice villas and 5-star resorts. And what I actually realized at that point was that wealthy people, they want to keep their wealth a secret because that way it's more anonymous, it's more private, and that also just means they're going to be more
Y'all
secure.
heard that, man. People that have money won't show it off on social media. Matter of fact, let's give that brother a round of applause. That's probably the best point that I've heard today. And look at him. If you got it, you ain't got to show it. You ain't got to flaunt it. You know you got it. It don't give a flip what nobody else thinking about. Because guess what? The way you doggone cut your lights on is not going to affect how I cut mine on. Unless I got a drop call running from your house. Folk run up on Bama Jamma all the time. Telling me, You always talking about not being flashy, but look at your ass. Gucci this, Coach that, Prada this, LV that. All draped up on you with your big old dookie chain on. Explain yourself, nigga. Well, truth is, I got on Gucci, but it's G-O-O-C-I, Gucci. I got on Coach because I'm a Little League baseball coach. I got on Prada, but it's spelled P-A-R-A-T-T-A. And LV, I always keep me some of that, but it means the latest version of what they selling in the Louis Vuitton stuff. But check this out, my brother. What I spent on what I got on is about what you spent going in City Trend. Let me get a roll tide. Let's have one more.
Sacrifice number 6, the grass is greener syndrome. You may assume that someone who has money did not work for it. It's easy to look at others and assume that they're better off, but this is a classic case of the grass is always greener. The truth is that you don't really know what sacrifices or struggles they're facing behind the scenes. They could have worked on an oil rig for 10 straight years, never seen their family, and put themselves at risk for different types of cancer in order to make a really good salary. Or you might see an investment banker who's making a lot of money, but then you don't realize that they're actually working extremely long hours, up to 100 hours a week early on in their careers. They also need to be constantly available. They're often highly stressed just so that they can make a good salary when they're younger. So when you do finally see someone at the age of 30 who has, quote, made it, perhaps they had to give up a lot of their life for it. And these are the sacrifices you may not want to make. If you recognize this in particular, it will help you stop comparing your achievements to theirs because maybe their challenges were bigger than yours.
Y'all heard it. The grass is greener on the other side. That's what everybody thinks. Grass is green. Grass is green. Your grass is green, but you think somebody else's grass is green? Nerd. Worry about your own front yard. Don't be worried about what's over here in my yard. Y'all know what? Bama Jamma gave up his whole 20s and 30s in pursuit of that bag. The cabbage. The lettuce, the dough, that damn money. Now that I'm well past into my 50s, I can look back and see that God Almighty had his hands on me, despite me not even knowing it. Oh, Lord, that sounds spiritual. Let me give myself a round of applause for that. Yes, sir. Let me get a roll tide, too. So I don't. And I ain't never been worried about what the next man got. I only worried about what I got. Amen. I was in the kitchen when she said it.
Savings is one thing, but it's a completely different thing to go into debt for something. Nowadays, it seems like taking on bad debt is the cultural norm. By the end of 2023, Americans had over $1 trillion in credit card debt, the highest it's ever been. The problem is the average credit card interest rate is 27.9%, which can easily turn the cost of a $3,000 LV bag into tens of thousands of dollars if you're not able to pay it off in time. Then there's also the buy now, pay later platforms that have been linked to some of the booming luxury spending. It's easy to be convinced you can actually afford a Versace jumpsuit if you don't have to pay for it all at once. The problem is, this creates a ripple effect of debt in low and middle income neighborhoods. A 2014 report by the Fed found that your neighbors indirectly influence how much you spend. In psychology, this can be explained by a concept called keeping up with the Joneses. Basically, it's when you use your neighbors as a measuring stick for success. If you see your neighbors upgrade their house, get a nicer car, or start wearing luxury brands, then you'll be much more tempted to do the same. Get a brand new Porsche? Why not? Open a new credit card to gain a Saint Laurent jumpsuit? For sure. When everyday people sacrifice their financial goals and take on debt just to buy something fancy, it can get really tough to get out of the debt spiral. The average American has about $6,000 in credit card debt. If your credit card has a 24% interest rate and you only make the minimum payment every month, it'll take you over 25 years to pay off your debt of $17,332, which is nearly 3x the original $6,000 amount, thanks to interest. Next, most people believe that if they spend more money, they'll get a higher quality product that will last longer. But that's not always true. Sure, in the past, luxury brands were expertly crafted and were designed to last decades. But with the industrialization of the production process, this artisan culture has been virtually wiped out. Nowadays, it's normal for luxury brands to subcontract thousands of factories in Tuscany to produce their products. The problem is, in 2008, Italian police uncovered a massive fraud happening in these factories. They conducted 250 raids in Italy and ended up finding metric tons of counterfeit bags and shoes with Prada and Fendi logos plastered all over them. When the luxury brands were asked to explain themselves, they simply said they thought the claims were exaggerated, and I quote, "They could not be expected to be on top of all their suppliers." But to really prove the point, in 2018, Payless, a discount footwear chain, ran an experiment. They opened up a retail store called Palessi and made the inside look really fancy. And when influencers checked out this store, they openly said that they'd be willing to pay hundreds of dollars for these Palessi shoes. But the funny part is, these were the exact same shoes that Payless sells in their stores for just 20 to 30 bucks, which shows people are willing to pay a lot more money for brand names and the aura of luxury, despite the disconnect between quality and price.
Yeah, you better kiss me before you get me on that one. And they say you're taking on debt. So y'all Americans be taking on all this debt. $1 trillion in credit card debt. The highest it's ever been. Lord have mercy. I can tell you what getting most of y'all in trouble. These buy now, pay later platforms. Klarna, Zip, Cesar, etc. Boy, look at him. They wearing y'all out. And they come at you like this. But look at him. I know you can't afford this $500 shirt, but look at him. You give me $50 and we gonna divide this bad boy up into 5, 6 payments and you just pay it like that, okay? And y'all fall right in the trap. Go and get them $50 up and then you know damn well you don't get paid 2 weeks later. You ain't gonna have that money. Your light bill due. I'm gonna tell you how I do that keeping up with the Joneses thing. What did it say? I told y'all about that keeping up with the Joneses now. The way I don't keep up with the Joneses, I come out the house with my damn eyes closed. That way I don't know what my neighbor them got. And the joke said they had 250 raids over there in Italy. And you know what the folk said? They say, you can't expect us to police these sweatshops. And that doggone experiment they did with Payless. They call it Palessi shoes. That tells it all right there. In other words, that $10,000 Hermes bag ain't no better than the discount purse you get from Ross. Look at right time.
Rich, elegant, or free. But what it might do will shock you. Luxury fashion wasn't always like this. Designers started with authentic craftsmanship and quality. But over time, conglomerates bought out these brands and turned them into machines selling you more than bags or shoes. A dream of success and freedom. Here's how it works. They create an illusion of exclusivity, showing you the life you could have if you own this. They price it sky high, so you associate it with prestige. And when you buy it, you feel like you have stepped into that dream life. At least for a little while. But here's the twist. That dream fades quickly. You're left with a mass-produced item that's nice, but far from worth the cost. Now you're thousands of dollars poorer and further from the financial freedom you wanted in the first place. You didn't buy luxury. In fact, you bought another paycheck's worth of work. It's not just individuals. It's the same strategy corporations and nations use. Create dependency. Like in Confessions of an Economic Hitman, nations take on debts for projects they don't need, trapping them in a cycle of financial obligation. And luxury brands are doing this to you. It's legal, transparent, and shockingly effective. But here's the good news. We are waking up.
Understand that your demarcation line of 2012 is like the crossing of a threshold of collective consciousness. It's like the leading edge of the collective consciousness wave, or what you might call the bow shock. In the same way that one of your airplanes might cross the sound barrier and it creates a boom, the idea of this crossing of the threshold is you crossing from a reality that was heretofore a little bit more negative than positive into a reality that's a little bit more positive than negative.
A shift started in 2012. More people saw through the pseudo-luxury haze. New brands are offering real value, quality products at fair prices. These are the fastest growing brands today, and for good reason. We are rejecting the hype for something real. Legacy brands are scrambling, their fixed costs are massive, and if sales dip, it's catastrophic. Some legendary names may disappear in the next few years. The playground is shrinking, and customers like you are holding the cards.
As a gathering place for luxury brands. But recently, some people online have said that the mall has become very quiet. Many stores have closed, and brands like Gucci, Prada, Cartier, and Dior, which used to be very popular, now have hardly any customers. Even the flagship stores of major international brands aren't doing as well as they used to. What's going on? Is it because the economy is weak, or have our spending habits changed? There used to be a saying in the luxury industry, "He who wins the Chinese market wins the world." Yet in the past 2 years, luxury brands and imported luxury car makers in China have faced unprecedented setbacks. The days when brands made huge profits are over. People with less money are no longer interested, while the wealthy now prefer to be cautious. The era when Chinese consumers spent money without much thought is gone. Due to a sluggish economy, a tense political atmosphere, and changing buying habits, many Chinese are gradually moving away from luxury items like Louis Vuitton and Gucci bags. Sales for companies like LVMH and the Kering Group in Asia have dropped by double digits. According to reports from Chinese media, on February 17th this year, Gucci, one of the luxury brands under the Kering Group, closed its stores at Rio Department Store and New World Daimaru Department Store in Shanghai. This reduced the number of Gucci stores in Shanghai to 7. On Nanjing West Road, known for its luxury shopping, only one Gucci store remains, at Hanglong Plaza. Gucci is an Italian luxury fashion brand that offers clothing, leather goods, shoes, watches, ties, scarves, perfumes, and more. Since 2010, Gucci expanded rapidly in China and once had more than 80 stores. In fact, as early as 2024, Gucci had already closed several flagship stores in key cities such as Dalian, Shenyang, and Taiyuan, and this year the number of closures has increased. The Kering Group explains that Gucci's declining performance is mainly due to weak consumer spending in China, unsatisfactory results from the brand's transformation, and changes in consumer demand. The CEO of Shenzhen's Xichisheng company, Wu Daiqi, also mentioned that the decline in high-end brands is partly due to the overall economic climate and the fact that these brands no longer hold the same appeal for China's new generation of consumers. As a gathering place.
That's right, game over. Man, that first man right there, he's a professional craftsman that deconstructs, constructs, and tears these high-cost, high-price luxury brands, bags, and stuff like that down to let y'all really see what y'all paying for, which is nothing. He famous for tearing bags up, showing you the stitching, the quality, and all that good stuff. And basically, he breaks them down. He had one bag that he broke down that cost $5,000, and basically he told folks, "Look at here, this bag ain't worth $50." But can't tell no hard-head folk nothing. And you know what? Chinese folk, they waking up. You know, they shutting these luxury stores down in these malls and stuff down there in China. Gucci, Louis, they getting up out of there. But you know what? I didn't know Chinese folk bought Gucci and Louis Vuitton. That was a shocker to me. But anyway, I'm gonna give the luxury brand stores a little bit of inside information. If y'all want to stay in business, Stop putting these stores in these high-priced malls all around the world and all around the country. Y'all want to stay in business and y'all want y'all business to thrive. Put y'all stores in these rundown malls in black communities. I'm just getting it to you right. Put y'all rundown stores in these malls that ain't got nothing in them. And I guarantee you the parking lots will be jam-packed. You'll have more sales than a little bit. Because that's one thing I can say. We gonna buy some stuff. We gonna spend some money. That's how to save yourself. Bring it on to the black folk neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Put a Gucci store at the end of Etna Place. I guarantee you it'll be packed every day. Anyway, Bama Jamma gonna tell y'all about this here too. Bama Jamma had not even owned a pair of Jordans from the age of doggone kindergarten all the way up until I was 40 years old. The first pair of Jordans that I bought was from a discount mall in 1996 up in Chicago. And I ain't paid but $40 for them. Now, your boy got, I think I got about 30 pair of Jordans. But guess what? Them 30 pair of Jordans probably ain't cost me $400. Let me get a roll time. But anyway, that's it for shows it. That's it for today. For shows it. Make sure you hit that bell for notification and click on that like for confirmation. We thank you for tuning in. Without you, we'd be failing. A little soliloquy. Like a Snicker bar dipped in white chocolate. It ain't subpar. We here. Can't stop this. With impeccable style, charm, and wordplay. It's just a matter of time before they say. For shows it is all the rage. Getting big numbers on their page. See you next time to talk this here. Catchphrase coming. Here it is. Arby. That's it for today. For shows it. Make sure you hit that bell for notification and click on that like for confirmation. We thank you for tuning in. Without you, we'd be failing. A little soliloquy. Like a Snicker bar dipped in white chocolate. It ain't subpar. We here. Can't stop this. With impeccable style, charm, and wordplay. It's just a matter of time before they say. For shows it is all the rage. Getting big numbers on their page. See you next time to talk this here. Catchphrase coming.